The most wonderful time of the year. Although, let's be honest, around the holidays, things really add up. But here's the good news. Only at Verizon, you can get a single line for $50 per month when you switch and bring your phone. So, while ice skating for two is definitely costing more, here at Verizon, you can save. Gifts for your third cousins? Steep. A single line with Verizon? Not so steep. A real tree? Pricey. A single line with Verizon? Less pricey. Flights to see Mima and Pops? Those are up. A $50 per month single line? That's down. Even a trip to the Atlanta Holiday Market will cost you more. But with Verizon, you can switch and bring your phone for just $50 per month for a single line on unlimited welcome, with autopay plus taxes and fees. All this to say, during the holiday season, when everything is costing more, you can get more for less right now at a local Verizon store. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G, 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
You're listening to Champion Cinema with Chris and Chris.
Yeah. That was a bassy one.
It was. I went full bass.
It was like Barry White was doing this show. Hello, folks. Welcome to a very special Christmas edition of Champion Cinema. After all these months, I almost just said the Chris and Chris show again for some reason.
It just reverted.
Yeah, it's because I said Christmas. I'm Chris with a Bob Clark C.
Nice. And I'm Chris with a Kidder K.
And unintentionally this week, I didn't realise this is where it was going to go. We've got a Killer Billy double bill.
Yeah, that's kind of random.
I didn't know the guy in Silent Night Deadly Night was called Billy. I was like, what the fuck?
Billy's such a killer name, isn't it?
It is.
I don't know. There's something just kind of like childishly innocent, but, you know, creepy as well.
I don't know if it's just because a lot of characters were called Billy in movies we saw growing up. It's a very 80s name to me. Some good-looking guy called Billy.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
So yeah, this week it's a double bill of Bob Clark's Black Christmas and Silent Night, Deadly Night.
I was waiting for more.
Thought you were going to say something.
No.
Like,
I was doing a Black Christmas.
Let's do the show.
I was just like...
So yeah, nothing to get to. I guess we'll start with Black Bloody Christmas.
Champion Cinema.
So, Black Christmas was released in 1974. It's 50 years old this year, sir.
Crazy, yeah. 50 years old.
Directed by the late Bob Clark. Runs for 1 hour and 38 minutes. It stars Olivia Hussey as Jess, Margot Kidder as Barb, Keir Dullea as Peter, Andrea Martin as Phyllis, Marianne Waldman as Mrs. Mac, Art Hindle as Chris, James Edmund as Mr. Harrison, Lynn Griffith as Claire, Doug McGrath as Sergeant Nass, and John Bloody Saxon as Lieutenant Fuller. But what's it all about?
Well, during the Christmas season, a group of sorority sisters receive harassing phone calls from an unknown stalker. The unsettling calls escalate to brutal murders, leaving Jess, the group's de facto leader, to confront the unrelenting killer while dealing with her own personal struggles.
Yeah. Personal struggles that I imagine were quite surprising in 1974 for a horror movie to be dealing with.
Yeah, it gets surprisingly
serious.
Serious, yeah, the whole abortion element and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, I mean, we'll just cover that off and move on swiftly, but because I don't want to get all political and stuff, but you know, I know this is obviously shot in Canada and stuff.
Yes.
So it's not quite the same as America, but it's just mad how, you know, in modern day, in a lot of places in like America anyway, like you can't have abortions legally and all that sort of shit. And I don't know, it's just kind of crazy. If you go back to 1974 and tell people, oh, you know, in 50 years' time in America, in some places it'll be outlawed. Mental.
Pretty mental. But let's not get political.
No, exactly. I just wanted to kind of cover that.
Well, you have to mention it because it's a big part of the movie. So.
Yeah, definitely.
But one thing, speaking of Canada, the link between, weirdly, this wouldn't have happened if it hadn't have been Friday the 13th in December, but the link between this movie and for the last Friday the 13th is they're both shot in Canada. And a more tenuous link, there's a shot in this with someone wearing a hockey mask.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there what point is that?
When
I
she
must have
goes to
missed it.
see the missing girl's boyfriend, he's like playing. He's in goal for playing a hockey game.
Yes, of course. Yeah, I just forgot. I do like Willings.
Another thing I just want to get off straight away. John Saxon, easily one of the hardest working men in Hollywood at the time. Because I was thinking, okay, this was 74, so Enter the Dragon was the previous year.
Yeah.
So I looked back and I was like, I wonder how much shit he did between Enter the Dragon and this. He did 3 TV movies and appeared in 3 television series in a year.
Bless him.
And I don't even think that was one of his busiest years. He's just one of those guys where you look at his filmography and go, Jesus, he was just non-stop.
So, such an effortless performance as well.
He always is. Yeah.
Like, he's just like, he's the cop, and I don't know, you kind of buy him as a real person.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. I know that sounds daft, but like, he doesn't overplay it or anything. It's not schlocky.
That's what I've always said about John Saxon. He always gave 100%, didn't matter what he was in.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, really, really good.
So I guess I was just thinking about like when I first saw this on telly, because it was I purely caught on a completely by accident. It was literally, I watched it on Christmas Eve the first time I saw it, which was just the perfect time to watch it. I'd never heard of it before because I was trying to think when it was. I'm guessing it was probably 99. Because I was trying to figure out, because I remember what I was watching beforehand. It didn't line up. I definitely didn't watch it when we were in school.
You're like watching The Matrix or something, and
no,
you're in your leathers.
No, that was you. you were the leather lad, not me.
Is Matrix 99? It is, isn't it?
It was.
I'm misremembering.
No, it was 99.
Suddenly I thought, was that 2001? No, it was 99.
I think the shitty sequels were 2001.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I just remember like it saying whatever was there. It was on Channel 4, obviously. And because, Channel 4 were the type to put something like this on Christmas Eve instead of a nice Christmas movie. But it was like super late and they were like, up next, Black Christmas. I just thought the title was funny. I was like, Black Christmas. I was like, I'm going to watch that. I'm just curious about the title. And then it scared the fuck out of us for like 2 hours. One of the few times I've ever like turned the channel over when watching something on TV because it freaked us out. Like the literal very end.
Really?
Yeah, that when it pans from her bed and it moves, I was like, fuck off. And I just turned the telly over. And I was like, oh, come on, it's almost done. I've got to watch the end. And then I was just
You're like not emotionally prepared.
No. Because the film had really, like, I think that was why it freaked. I wasn't expecting it to scare us that much. Like, it just really freaked us out, especially as well. I remember the reason I'd stayed up so late that night was because there was, like, a bunch of burglaries going around, like, happening a lot, like, in the nearby streets.
Yeah.
So my mum was like, just stay up a little bit later. And I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do? But then you're fucking keeping an ear out for stuff and you're watching a fucking movie about someone living in someone's attic and killing people. So I think that added to it as well a little bit.
Just set off your anxiety.
You know what? I'm just going to say this now. Like, I've always thought this, but I'm just going to fucking proclaim it. I think the ending is my favourite ending ever in a horror movie.
It's a crazy sort of twist, really, isn't it? As well, it doesn't it doesn't overplay it or anything.
Nope.
You think the movie's kind of over. The killer's been killed. And you think, oh, right, why aren't the credits rolling? And then it just kind of goes, yep.
Nope.
It's not resolved.
Yeah, and then that
Credits.
shot of the house, you see her in the window, the big zoom out, then just the phone starts ringing, credits.
Yeah. No music, right? The entire way?
No,
basically,
none at
which
all.
I think is super rare
Yeah.
for credits.
Yeah. Do you want to just start with Billy, I suppose? I guess he is called Billy. That is what they always call him and stuff, but who knows who the fuck he is?
Is it? I always think, I haven't looked much about the trivia about this, but is it kind of a held thing with some fans that it's just like an escaped psychopath or something, or sort of thing, or is there a theory behind who's in the loft?
Bob Clark does say that he did write like an entire backstory for the killer. So it's there in his mind, like to draw off, especially when they were doing all the phone call stuff. So, like I said, you can kind of, it doesn't tell you, but you can kind of piece together what's going on the more phone calls he makes.
Yeah.
Like it's something about his sister, there's a mother's voice, something about a baby. So there's something fucked up happened that's made him crazy. But I would assume he's just wandering around because he's escaped from somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I wonder, like, got out of some facility or something and climbed into the nearest sorority house's loft.
Yeah,
God knows.
Because that's the scary thing about the whole movie, just like what you don't know. And you don't need to know, because if you knew, like, I think I've never seen the first remake they did, which is more of a straight remake as opposed to the one that came out a couple of years ago. But I think in that one they literally do go into Billy's backstory and over-explain it and stuff like that.
Yeah, which I have no doubt they would do that. Yeah, like he's got an abusive dad who's all like fuck and stuff, and like a redneck.
Thank God,
sort of
Rob
character or something.
Zombie didn't get his hands on it first.
Basically, yeah. Which you just don't need to know. It's creepier that way. But speaking of creepy, like, oh wow, the calls, the audio, something about the 70s could just like attain this level of creepiness.
I think that's the reason why the film still holds up and is still like super scary, because those calls are like in 1974 I can imagine that would have been like, what the fuck, because it goes pretty extreme. Like some of the weirdly when I saw it on TV, it was cut on Channel 4. They cut out the C word and the bit where he talks about his girthy penis.
Yeah, repeatedly.
Because I remember the first time like I watched it with an ex, I was like, oh, you love Black Christmas. Then I got to that bit and I was like, it's a bit uncomfortable. I don't remember this bit.
I regret this. You're like, oh, Nan, let's watch this.
It's spooky like White Christmas, don't you?
I regret this choice.
Yeah, but that's super. Like I'll get to it later. But the vinyl soundtrack that came out a few years ago, like it just, I think from memory, it just has all the phone calls on, just on their own.
Does it?
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's not a soundtrack you put on just background noise. Not even on Halloween, because it's just unnerving as fuck, the entire soundtrack.
It's like one of those like playlists that I used to do, like have like Winamp playlists back in the day.
Yeah.
Where I would be like, I would put it on in my bedroom, like over my speakers, and then I would go have a bath. And then I would be in the bath and I'd be like, oh shit, I forgot about this. And the, like audio from like a movie would come on or something, and I'd be like, I can't get out of the bath. I can't be bothered to get out of the bath. And there'd just be some mad screaming coming from my bedroom when I was a kid.
Your mum banging on the ceiling. What the fuck are you doing?
What's that?
But yeah, it's the guy, like the main guy who was Billy, is an actor called Nick Mancuso. No, when because I watched a bit of the featurettes on the old DVD, and I was like, oh yeah, who is that again? I looked him up. He's the bad. If you remember the bad guy in the movie Rapid Fire, the Brandon Lee movie.
Oh yeah,
that's him, and he's in Under Siege as well. He's like the guy that knows who Tommy Lee Jones is in like the CIA room that they keep going back to.
Oh, that's random.
So that's Billy.
Did I say the only sort of, well, I say maybe it's a few trivia. So was there something about originally it was going to be the boy? It wasn't going to be the boy. Was it the Chris character or something? Was there a Chris character?
Yeah, he's the boyfriend of the missing Claire, the missing girl at the start.
Yeah. I think that the plan was it was going to be him until they kind of realised they'd like filmed themselves into a bit of a plot hole.
Oh, I'm not sure.
He's like, yeah, I think, I don't know. You don't know with IMDb trivia, but I think like initially the plan was it was going to be him, but then they realised like they had fucked up and filmed some scenes where it couldn't have been him, and then they're like, oh no, let's not do that.
I know that there was apparently a plan, like the studio or like the producers or something were like, we want you to go back and film a bit at the end where like the Peter character, like Jess's boyfriend, just comes back at the end when she's in bed and kills her. Just to so the audience say, oh, he's the killer, but then they were like, no, because it's not scary that way.
No, and it's definitely not. And I think, I don't know, just it wouldn't have that impact at the end, you know, like
no, definitely.
And the tragedy of it as well, that she actually just killed. Like, okay, he clearly had some problems, the boyfriend and stuff, but she's like just murdered the father of her son and stuff, basically.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, well, you know, whether she has an abortion or not, but it's still like kind of grim and tragic.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So there's another element to it which, like, I think's really good.
Yeah, I guess there's one thing that I've always wondered about for years, and it's the whole. There's been like a thing about like Halloween in this film. Obviously, people say like, oh, was Halloween really influenced by Black Christmas? I think there's a chance it was. But because there's a quote from Bob Clark who said like, I think someone asked him about it because sadly Bob Clark passed away in 2007, 8 something like that, from a car accident, which was awful.
Didn't realize.
But at one point, someone asked him about it, and he said that like Carpenter had asked him at some point when they met, like in the mid-70s. He said, "Would you ever do a sequel to Black Christmas?" And he said, "Nah, I don't want to do horror anymore." And then he's like, "But if I did." The Billy character would have been caught and he would be placed in a mental institution and which he'd escape from and go back to the house, and it would be set on Halloween and called Halloween. That's what Bob Clark said. He told John Carpenter. And Bob Clark, so he said, like, I'm not saying Carpenter ripped us off, not at all. But it's just, you know, he did apparently tell him that idea.
That, like maybe just planted the seed of an idea, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
I think what sets this movie apart is the fact that Obviously it is a slasher movie, but it's like further away from the other movies.
It's
in terms of format and stuff.
Yeah, it's what you call like a proto slasher. Like it doesn't have all the ingredients, but like it definitely has enough to where you could watch it alongside Halloween and Friday the 13th, and it would be a good triple bill type of thing. But yeah, it's not a straight up slasher movie. It's more of like a creepy psychological thriller more than anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just I suppose the John Saxon bits and stuff pull it away from just being a straight up slasher, and it like feels like there's a bit of like when he's they're trying to catch the guy on the phones and they're digging into the technology of the phones a little bit. And then there's the him going to like the university or whatever when he sees the smashed piano and stuff. And
yeah.
so it just feels like there's a bit more like legwork in the story going on. And obviously, let's talk about the girls, because there's one thing that separates it. There's no like sexy goings on. Well, no, there's a little bit. Is there? No, I'm thinking of the next film, actually. No, there isn't. Is there? There's
no, really. No.
So for all it's set in a sorority house, and the opportunity was there to show a bit of cleavage or a bit of bum or whatever, but the just shows like you can do a slasher film without just doing that. And sadly, they kind of fell into that like titillation thing during the 80s.
I mean, we'll get the complete opposite with the next one.
Well, it's which is a true sign of the time.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think the film it benefits from it though. That like these girls are like academic women who are people and are in a sorority house and they're getting picked off. You know what I mean? They're real people.
Yeah, they're
not just like, oh my god, chewing bubble gum and then being like a dick and then getting stabbed, and you're kind of like going, yes, kill her. Thank you for killing her. There's like none of that in this film, basically.
Yeah, but you think that about every character in a slasher movie normally.
True.
Like the character that was written to be the nicest character ever, and you're like, fucking so glad she died.
Yeah. For me, I am always rooting for like the Jason or the Michael Myers. Go on, yeah.
What are your thoughts on Olivia Hussey, besides, being one of the prettiest women of all time?
Yeah, she's interesting. I guess again, didn't look at the trivia. Is she British?
Yeah, she's British.
Is she? Yeah, I assumed she was, but I just didn't want it in case it was like a weird. I'm sometimes tonally deaf for like Canadian accents and stuff. Obviously, I can pick out the obvious, the lighter boots and stuff.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, I think she does really well. Again, very, very like dry, sort of serious performance.
Yeah, I think she stands out because of how British she is amongst the rest of the cast as well. But she did really great towards the end when she's just like, especially that scene where she's on the phone and she's shouting up the stairs for a friend who hasn't come down yet, and the cop's going, just get out, walk out the door.
Yeah,
and she starts to panic. That's such a good scene.
Yeah, she really freaks out and says like something along the lines of like, will you please just answer me or something.
Yeah.
And again, like, it's a nice scene because, you're not shouting at the screen going, oh, fucking just get out of the house, come on. Yeah. Because there is a pressure there. I know, like, our mates are upstairs. And there's that like pressure of like, I don't want to just fucking walk out the door, because if there is a murderer up there, like I want to warn them and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So you know what I mean? The movie doesn't do any dumb thing where they're like, I'll just stick my head in this blender sort of thing. Where you're like, oh, come on. Although I will say there is maybe one scene which I did sort of laugh at. The first girl that gets killed, where she's just like, is it Claire? I think.
Yeah.
Where she's just like, somebody's there. Is somebody there? Hello, who are you? And stuff.
Yeah.
And she goes like full like bloody Tom Waits or something. She's like, there's somebody in there or something for some reason. She's like, I can't remember what the line is. I'm just having a look. Did I make note of the actual line in my notes? I think she just keeps repeating something like, is somebody in there or something? And then she walks towards the wardrobe. Like, if I thought there was somebody in my wardrobe, I would be like, yeah, I'm going to run downstairs.
Yeah, definitely.
Basically.
What makes that scene even creepier, though, is that it's just imitating a cat.
Yeah, true.
He's imitating like a cat, or like the house cat, like the old woman's cat.
Yeah, true.
But I guess there is some light moments in the movie. Like, you've got some banter between the cops, which I like, when Margot Kidder, who I haven't mentioned yet, who's like the permanently drunk member of the sorority, who tells the dumb like desk sergeant that like the area code is fellatio. He just doesn't know what it is.
He doesn't know.
The best thing about it's the dude laughing in the background when Saxon reads it. That whole scene feels completely genuine.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, it's a proper like belly laugh that the other cop's given.
Yeah.
And again, like Saxon's kind of like, you know, he's laughing, but he's kind of like trying to be respectful.
He's trying to be the guy, like the lieutenant, basically.
Yeah.
Just love his reaction when he looks down. You can see the guy waiting for him to realise, and Saxon just goes, "What the fuck?"
That's good. It's a good scene. It brings like much needed sort of levity to the movie.
Yeah.
It balances it out a little bit.
And the Nash guy going, "I know, it's something dirty, ain't it?"
Bless him.
Yeah.
Because Margot Kidder, like again, I don't know if I'm biased because of Superman and stuff, but I just think like she stands out. Like,
Oh yeah,
you could tell she was headed for something.
yeah.
Like at this point, because like it's almost like to me, she's like she stands out like a red thumb almost in the movie because she's like such a big personality and she's got good like on-screen charisma. And
Yeah,
stuff.
I was gonna say charisma off the charts, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably the most fun character to play, really. Besides probably Mrs. Mac, like the
Yeah.
den mother or whatever she's called.
Yeah.
My favorite bit that always gets a laugh out was in the film was when like the girl's dad is gonna like give her a lift into town and she's looking for a cat and she drops a bag all over the stairs. She's just like, "Come on, Claude, you little prick."
Yeah, it's like any cat owner knows that feeling.
Yes, exactly. When they just
You know
don't
what
want
I
to
mean?
fucking listen to you. Yeah.
And like indirectly because of the cat, you fuck up something or you stand on something.
Yep,
or
exactly.
You know, and you're like, oh, fuck's sake.
Yeah, every time.
So yeah, because she's really good as well, that character. Yeah, like just hiding drink all over the house.
Yeah.
Which is really funny. Like in every place possible, like in the toilet system and stuff. And
Yeah, I listened to a bit
things.
of Bob Clark's commentary, and he says he based the character on his aunt, basically.
yeah, really.
His aunt or his grandma, I can't remember, but he said with her it was wine, not whiskey.
Yeah,
Hiding wine all over the house.
just big ass bottles of wine everywhere. There was a really funny bit. I think I heard it right. Where like I rewound it a few times. Where the scene where she's brushing her teeth in front of the mirror, and she gets, I think it's the bottle out of the cistern at that point.
Yeah.
And she takes a swig, but she like bangs it on her teeth, the bottle. But like a slight like goof that they left in the movie.
Yeah.
And it's just like, she doesn't like react to anything to it, but I was like, like banging, did I just bang the bottle on her front teeth?
We've all twatted a glass of for teeth, and she's already pissed, so.
Well, that's why I totally accept it. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, you would. But I just thought, Jesus, what a pro. She just like kept acting. There's a few interesting shots in the movie to talk about. I think the starting point, the POV cam, I think is kind of mad. It's like, it's almost like they filmed it in a higher refresh rate or something.
I think it's like a sort of, not 180, but like a big fisheye lens on it as well,
Yeah.
which makes it really disorientating.
I wonder if like that, like the wide angle of it, like changes the speed of the film or something. But
Maybe.
it's something about it, like it just like, especially on the big screen that I was watching it on, it was probably like almost disorientating.
Yeah, maybe
Like
they
the
shot it
fact-
like at a different frame rate or something.
Yeah, really cool. But it again just sets the tone of the movie that, you know, creepy shit's about to happen. So that's really cool. There's a very Spielbergian shot at one point in the movie with a forced perspective shot.
Oh yeah, like the
Where
split,
Kidder and the dad.
like the split diopter, I think it's called.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
fucking, De Palma uses it all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just something you don't see anymore, is it really?
No.
Like past the 70s,
And
really,
from
maybe
what-
early 80s.
Bob Clark was saying that was quite like a new thing then, like it had quite an early use of it, so that's kind of cool.
So yeah, just interesting some of that stuff I made note of. I think the use of the audio as well, though, is really good. The like, I guess the noise is like strumming on a piano of like the strings on a piano.
It's like it's prepared piano, so it's like shit hanging and like banging off the piano strings, so it just all sounds weird and discordant and like fucking. Then he would slow the tape down apparently, so it's even more eerie. That's what I mean. You put the soundtrack on, you're just like, fucking, I'm uncomfortable after like 2 minutes.
Yeah, like one of those noises that
Yeah.
you read about that like fucks men up or something. It's
Yeah.
like 4 megahertz sort
Like
of
it's like a
noises.
certain frequency that just makes you go, oh, I'm uncomfortable, I feel sick.
But yeah, it's really good, and obviously it's cool that he literally smashes up a piano, the boyfriend at one point,
Yeah.
and then like the next scene is like that bong noise, like the piano noise, and I don't know, it's kind of like a very deliberate red herring.
I was going to say, you could see that as a big red herring, that most of the movie is like eerie piano music, and he's a pianist. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So nice. Whether it was deliberate or accidental, but I really like some of that stuff.
Yeah, it might have been deliberate because I mean the film does kind of try and make it does set him up well as like it's probably could be it's 99% it's him, and then at the end you're like shit. Yeah, I will say just as soon as when I was saying about the ending, like it's as soon as she sees his eye in the crack of the door, that's just everything from then is brilliant. I think it's like just complete terror.
Yeah, it's a really good shot. Like, and again, like, you know, she doesn't scream and fall over or anything. She basically batters him. She like smashes the door into his face.
Yeah.
And then like runs, and you know there's a screaming going on, but I feel like she's not just like a helpless damsel either.
No,
it's nicely done, that scene.
Yeah,
like she freaks out and she runs, and then the guy's like grabbing at her hair and stuff.
Yeah, that's a terrifying shot when his hand just pops out and grabs her by the hair. And then the bit where, of course, when she locks herself in the basement, and he's just like screaming like an animal at the door trying to get in. It's fucking terrifying.
Oh yeah, Again, crazy use of audio. Like
yeah,
and I don't know what it is about. You know, there's like the bit in Alien when Kane is dying at first and stuff, and like the screams in 70s movies, something about the way they recorded the like audio. It's almost like the technology wasn't great and the screaming slightly blows out the audio.
I know what you mean, yeah.
But like something about it makes it like super creepy as fuck to me. I never hear audio in modern movies that make me quite as uncomfortable as certain audios in 70s movies.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I mean
something about it.
The composer like helped out with recording a lot of the Billy stuff. Like said, I think he was mainly talking about Nick Mancuso, who did most of the Billy stuff. Said it was like really intense, like watching him do the voice. I think I don't know if he said it or I read it somewhere that he did a lot of the lines stand on his head.
Oh, really?
So it would like compress his throat and sound more strained and stuff. And you kind of, when you think of that and you hear some of the, like how he sounds in some scenes, you're like, yeah, he probably is stood on his fucking head because it sounds like he's choking.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's very good though. Very good.
Yeah.
It just adds so much.
Yeah.
To the movie.
Like that's the only reason. I mean, I've heard that the 2006 remake is fine on its own as a 2000 slasher, that it's quite entertaining. But I would like to see how they handle if they even do the phone calls. I've got no idea. I don't know if they even go that direction with it.
Is that the one with that Michelle Trachtenberg?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's one. Yeah.
It's the only thing I know about. It always sticks out was obviously the girl from Buffy is in it.
I know there's something in it with, unless I'm thinking of something else, but like the Billy character like bakes cookies out of people or something. I don't know.
Really?
It's something like that's part of his flashback. Maybe he like killed someone and baked them into cookies, like he's fucking Bun Man or something.
Just seems like a hat on a hat, doesn't it? Really,
just
at this
bit,
point,
yeah.
You don't need anything more to be. You just need him to be some creepy psychopath that's sneaking down and murdering girls.
Yeah, I don't really think Black Christmas is one of those films where you don't look at it and go, "How can we make it creepier?" It's like it's fucking creepy.
Exactly.
It's already creepy. Adding fucking human body part cookies in it ain't gonna make. That's just gonna make it fucking stupid, as we like to say.
Yeah. I will have to watch it though. I am interested to see definitely like how it's done.
And the one that came out in 2019, just because I heard it's fucking terrible. So, and it's got not next to fuck all to do with Black Christmas. I don't even know why it's called Black Christmas from the sound of it.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Oh dear.
But anyway, yeah, it's one of my not just favorite horror movies. It's one of my favorite movies. So,
I suppose we should mention allegedly one of Elvis's favorite movies as well.
Yeah, I've tried to get to the bottom of that
Before
a few times. Yeah, I've tried to get to the bottom of it a few times, and I've never been able to find the source of where it came from. So I don't know.
Weird, isn't it?
Like I think he did like horror movies, but you know.
Yeah, because I saw trivia on like MDB. It was like he had like a family tradition where they would watch it every year, and I was like, didn't he die like a couple of years after?
Like,
can't have been that big a tradition.
77, wasn't it? That he died?
Yeah,
it's like a 2-year most tradition.
Yeah, like.
Yeah.
But yeah, random film for him to like if it was true.
I saw a quote from Olivia Hussey that when she met Steve Martin for the first time, he said, "Are you starring one of my favorite movies of all time?" And she was like, "Oh, Romeo and Juliet." And he's like, "Nah, Black Christmas." He said he'd seen it like 20 odd times.
Mad. I think it's probably fair to say it's a film that isn't like in everyone's sort of playlist. You know, like it is very much a cult film.
Yeah.
It's certainly not like like Freddy or Jason level of
It's a horror fans. It's you know, they love it, but your average person who likes a horror film now and then, I think it would be like a hidden gem, to a lot of people,
Yeah.
which I like because there's still people out there that can discover it. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
did just watching it on TV, going, "What's this?" and being blown away by
Yeah.
it. So.
Champion Cinema.
As for Moich and the Blu-ray and fit, Scream Factory in America have put out the Blu-ray and the 4K, which is chock full of goodies. You got the original audio commentary from Bob Clark from the old DVD, an audio commentary with John Saxon and Keir Delay, an audio commentary with Nick Mancuso as Billy in character.
Nice.
I want to hear
Just
that.
go nuts.
Just an hour and a half of just shitting your pants watching the movie, but even scarier. And an audio interview with Bob Clark, and we've got featurettes that clock in at around, like interviews and stuff that clock in at around 6 hours. 2 uncovered scenes. I don't know what they are. Alternate title sequences, because this was known as like Silent Night, Evil Night, and then what's the other one? Oh, there was another one that it got re-released as under a different title. I
Yeah.
can't remember what it is, box. Something. Oh, Stranger in the House. I think that's what it was called on TV at one point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool title. I like it.
yeah.
Stranger in the House. Yeah.
The original shooting script was called Stop Me, which I quite like because he does say that at one point over the phone. He's like, "Please stop me." Yeah. The UK 101 Films put it out. They put out a Blu-ray in 2017, which had about 2 hours of interviews, documentaries, but without commentaries, and then they released a Bob Clark box set in 2023, which had Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things and Death Dream in it, and had pretty much the same stuff as the Scream Factory one. So yeah.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. Kind of a well-respected film, really.
Yeah.
In that
I'm
regard.
surprised. Hopefully, I mean, it doesn't have a 4K over here yet, and it's the 50th anniversary, so, well, it's too late now. It's fucking December.
No, but you know what I mean. They'll always cash in. They'll
yeah.
just release it as 50th anniversary, but next year.
Yeah, probably. And then I was saying Carl Zitter's score was released by Waxwork a few years ago, and like I said, it's just the first bit of it is just the carol singing that you hear throughout the movie, like outside the house and stuff, and then the piano
Kids.
stuff. Yeah, yes,
probably
just
say.
that like with reverb on it in a dark room is terrifying. Then the piano stuff, and then I'm pretty sure the last 5 minutes is just all the calls. so yeah,
Terrifying.
And the whole soundtrack's only 20 minutes. It's like 10 minutes each side. So
Yeah, well, it's not a soundtrack heavy
No.
movie, is it? Really,
No.
let's face
No.
it. It's a lot of it is like very much just what's happening on
yeah,
screen.
yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think a film can be like, it can feel really devoid a film without a score and a soundtrack. I feel sometimes because like it adds so much. But
Yeah.
I think with this film, it benefits from like that little bit of silence.
Oh yeah,
Like the whole film.
yeah, definitely. Artwork and stuff then.
Yes, let's have a look. So yeah, Gary Pullen. I quite like the cover of this. Red
Yeah,
and black,
that's
very
the
much.
that was the cover of the vinyl re-release as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
Cool. Something different this time with just randomly with this movie. That this print's actually available at the moment to buy.
Oh,
as well.
very nice.
So it's available by Mr. Gary Pullen, but on ghoulishgary.com. So
Excellent.
it's still a print you can actually get a hold of.
It's very nice. Very nice.
Just the eye. It features a few times in the artwork, obviously.
Yeah.
The glinty eye, which is
Yeah.
a clever idea.
It's probably the most iconic bit in the film, really. Just the eye and of
definitely.
course, like Agnes, it's me, Billy, which is just fucking terrifying.
Yeah, definitely. Like, ugh.
yeah.
But there's another Gary Pullen one as well. It's like alternate art. Again, like featuring heavily in the artwork. But
Well, I just noticed the 40th. I was thinking, I'm sure that was a cover of a Blu-ray at some point or a DVD, because just saying 40th anniversary, it looks very familiar. So
yeah, possibly. Yeah, like American releases.
I think it was a DVD release for the first Blu-ray release 10 years ago. Nice though.
Oh, really nice. I like it. Yeah. Next one by James Ream. James Ream Davis. Kind of different, totally different color scheme.
Oh, yeah.
For the blue and the white.
It almost looks
I
like
quite
a newspaper ad you'd see in the 70s.
Yeah,
guess
like
we're
very
just-
pulpy.
Yeah,
sort
or
of.
just with they've just been black, white, and I guess like teal blue type of thing. It looks
Yeah.
really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I like that. Mark Schoenbach, might have butchered his name. Again, though, featuring the body and stuff.
A creepy
on the
image.
cover.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Because again, those moments where he's like got the body all arranged and stuff
Yeah.
on the rocking chair.
And if you
stuff.
think about it as well, like I don't know why I've never put this together until watching it this time, but you always hear like he's talking about Agnes, who's apparently seems to be his sister, and then you hear like the mother's voice, and the people he keeps in the loft with him is the older woman and the younger girl. So he's kind of having a little fucking family reunion up in the
like,
loft.
yeah, recreating it.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
terrifying. Yeah. But that's a really cool poster. Eerie as fuck.
Yeah, I was going to say we've never mentioned her getting the house mum getting the hook to the face.
Yeah,
which is
that's
quite brutal.
pretty nasty. Yeah. And once again, this is a film that is pretty much bloodless as well.
Yeah, it doesn't show you a great deal. No, definitely not.
No.
Literally the first killing is just suffocation, so it's very bloodless.
Yeah.
So last but not least, one by Phantom City Creative. So this one again is on sale at the moment. So this one, the website, just to give a shout out, are the madebymutant.com. It's the guys that, it's basically a lot of the talented people that worked for Mondo.
Oh, okay.
Like that left Mondo when kind of the shit hit the fan a little bit with Mondo. And they've turned into some weird sort of, I don't know what they did. They buy they bought those pops or something.
Funko, somebody do with Funko. Pops. I don't know.
Yeah, and kind of lost the plot a little bit. So a lot of people from Mondo left and set up that company, the art gallery. But yeah, that's I quite like that print as well.
I like that they've merged the Christmas tree with Claire's getting suffocated.
Yeah,
it's fucked up, but it's good. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, very simple, and just gives you enough vibes.
When it comes to horror, I love black and red. It's just blood and darkness, so it works.
You just can't go wrong, can you?
No, you can't.
So yeah, that's it for Black Christmas. I did have a quick nosy. Obviously, there isn't any action figures or anything. No video games.
Surprised McFarlane didn't do a Billy action figure like they did with the Blair Witch back in the day.
Yeah, they just make up their own character.
Yeah, it's just some weird deformed guy with a hump on his back. You're like, what?
Nope. Or a NES video game where you've got to sneak down from the loft, and it's all going down the ladders and stuff, and the snakes.
Now you got to jump over Bob's whiskey bottles so no one hears you.
Totally. I could see it though. To be fair, they made video games of everything. Back then.
You collect those little glass swans as health.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
gotta strangle girls and stuff.
Yeah,
and take them back to you.
That was the point when Nintendo were no, pass.
They're well, somebody just conceptually had it.
I'm interested. Keep going, and of course, you kill women and stuff. No.
Could you not just drag them back, collect them as little tokens?
No, we really want to kill them. All right, get out.
Next.
Go to fucking Sega.
Champion Cinema.
So, Silent Night, Deadly Night, released in 1984, the height of these types of movies, with a runtime of 1 hour and 19 minutes. So, snappy movie. I'm trying to remember, is that the slightly extended version?
No, that'll be the theatrical one.
Theatrical
the extended one's an hour 25 or something.
Yeah, that's right, which we'll get to. But yeah, obviously a film that was released under a surprising amount of controversy at the time.
Yeah.
Considering it wasn't a first movie depicting Santa Claus as a killer or a horror film at Christmas, as Black Christmas.
Yeah,
exactly. Covers off. But it did get a lot of shit. One of them classic movies that people just got on board criticising it that probably didn't even see it.
That's always the case, isn't it?
Yeah. They're babies are going to the cinema to see this film and they're coming out as killers and stuff. Just think about what you're saying for a minute.
The funny thing, because this is the first time I'd actually seen this before, but I'd always heard about it. I know it's a popular series and stuff, but the funny thing is Mickey Rooney was one of the big celebrities to come out and be like, fucking, then he was in the fifth one.
Yeah, we got to get those sellout cash, those checks.
Some people have said, well, it might not have been called Silent Night Deadly Night 5 when he signed on. Because I think only half of the movies are actually sequels and the rest are just unrelated Christmas horror movies. But either way, it's fucking hilarious.
Just didn't recognise them. Yeah. Directed by Charles E. Sellier Jr., who we'll get to as well. Interesting guy. So starring Robert Brian Wilson as the adult Billy. We'll do the Billies first. Danny Wagner as 8-year-old Billy, and Jonathan Best as young 5-year-old Billy. Lillian Chauvin as the mother superior. I should say. Superb actress, love her.
I was going to say fucking Van Damme's mum and Universal Soldier.
Absolutely.
And fucking Joey's grandma.
Yeah, exactly. Just you know her straight away.
Yeah.
Gilma McCormick as Sister Margaret, Tony Nero as Pamela, Britt Leach as Mr. Sims, Nancy Bogenicht, oh my god, I butchered that name, as Mrs. Randall. We've got and then last but not least, how can I not mention him? Charles Diakop as the Killer Santa at the start of the movie.
You forgot one important name, I will say.
Go on.
Tara Buckman, who plays Billy's mum at the start from Cannonball Run.
Oh, shit, yeah. I haven't, of course, I haven't written that down. Yeah. I was trying to limit myself to 10 names, but it's just so many. I wanted to cover all the little kids, all the little Billies in this movie.
Little Billies, little silly Billies.
So anyway, what's the movie about?
Well, young Billy is warned on Christmas Eve by his supposedly catatonic granddad that Santa is a horrible fat bastard. He then witnesses his parents murdered by the hands of a horrible bastard dressed as Santa. And after suffering mistreatment by the horrible nuns at the orphanage, grown Billy's horrible bastard tendencies are triggered when he's forced to dress up as Santa at work. Then he goes right off his rocker and starts killing everybody.
It certainly does. I saw this coming a mile off after being forced into that situation. Poor Billy.
So yeah, it's just mad. I didn't realise the killer in this was called Billy. I just thought it would be a good double bill of Christmas horror movies and we've got 2 killer Billies.
Yeah. Funny enough. And it's like, isn't the character in like Gremlins called Billy? And
Yeah,
stuff?
see, Billy in the 80s, everyone was called Billy.
So many Billies.
Yeah.
So random. Yeah, God, where to start with this movie?
I mean, let's just start with, because for some reason, I think I kind of know why. The opening scene with the granddad, for some reason to me, it felt like one of those dark Lemmy sketches. And I started like the more it went on, because there was something about the way the granddad was speaking. I was like, it sounds like some mental Lemmy character. And then when it ended and he just went back to being normal, I started laughing because I imagined the friggin' Dan Lemmy show sketch thing I tend to come on afterwards, and I like to pause the film because I was laughing so much.
So it is random. Like, my interpretation initially was, is it the kid like... So is the granddad not doing that, and is the kid just like kind of almost like make believe in it in his head?
I mean, there's no
Like,
it doesn't expand on it ever, so fuck knows.
I love that it doesn't. It's just like, yep, the granddad's just like lying to the doctors and
It's
stuff.
like almost the opposite of like how Black Christmas doesn't explain anything. With that, there's mystery, but with this, you're just like, what?
It's a great performance by the guy. He literally is catatonic, the actor.
Yeah.
And then like when he turns his head, it's such a great like moment.
Yeah.
When he turns his eyes, you're just like, oh, and it's such a great like, it's such a nice close up as well. Because the way films are made these days, you never get like where it's just somebody's full face in the frame.
Yeah.
And it's just such a great shot of his like eyes and stuff. I did like it.
I mean, I was also thinking during that scene, like, why does this guy look so familiar? And it's because he's the Mr. Peabody from Back to the Future.
Ah, is that it?
Yeah, the
because
farmer
I
dude.
did think that. Yeah, I did think that as well. Like, there's something about him. That's funny.
The following year, he'd get Back to the Future. what a 1-2 punch that is. Sound like that in like Back to the Future.
Crazy. But yeah, good scene.
It is.
Like an early highlight for me, that scene.
Yeah.
Just for pure creepiness.
And then you just jump straight into like a guy dressed as Santa blowing a guy in a 7-Eleven.
So silly.
Which is, I will say this is the best of like both worlds when it comes to this type of movie. It's like the best combo of cheese, grime and grot. It's got just a bit of everything, because like it's not quite as silly, but it reminds us a little bit of in the same like vibe Pieces has, where you're like, fucking hell, what's going on? And then something just shocking happens. You're like, Jesus, then it gets silly again. It's great.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Tonally, it's all over the place.
Yeah, and that's not a criticism, because I love films like that.
I think it's just the fact that like stuff happens, but then it just takes it that little bit further every time.
Yeah.
So like so he goes in the shop. He's like dressed as Santa. He pulls out a gun. He's going to rob the store. The gun owner reaches for the gun. He tries to like lift his gun up. He gets shot, and then he shoots him again, but then he like shoots him in the head.
Yeah.
And it's that little moment where like in most films you wouldn't get that extra shot of him getting shot in the head.
No.
But in this they're just like, let's just go one step further.
And like I said, the fucking face the guy leaves after he shoots him, I was like, what a comedic, goofy face. I said, I was like, if I die, I want to die with that look on my face. Tongue sticking out and boss-eyed, basically.
I suppose we should cover off early, because I'm assuming that the bit when he gets shot in the head is one of the like reinserted shots.
I don't think so, because it didn't look, because just for those who don't know, like there's an unrated version, and the only place that ever got released unrated, like with full uncut, was VHS. So most of the releases just have the excise bits inserted back in like standard def, and they're a lot darker and grainier and stuff. I don't think that bit was.
Well, it's in my head. I kind of had it as like it looked gritty.
It feels like it feels. If it's not, it feels like it should be one of the scenes because it's
like
quite
something out of Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah,
It's like just a blood squib in somebody's head and the blood running down his head. It's so like ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, because I did see something about the trivia that the when they were doing the Blu-ray, they like hunted for the deleted footage and they did find it. But it had been like stored so like badly that it was just totally fucked. So it was like unusable.
There is no way to do a full because the 4K that's out we'll get to later, but it's only the theatrical cut that's actually in 4K, and the Blu-ray just is basically the version we watched. Yeah,
which is fair play. If you can't do it, you can't do it.
Yeah,
it's good to have it at least, reinserted in the movie.
Yeah,
but in my head though as well, I do kind of like it. Whenever something proper grimey's going to happen, it's like the quality goes really shit. So I kind of like it,
except for some moments where, because I read according to IMDb, it says like it was cut for pacing and gore. So there is some scenes that are just dialogue that they just cut out, or people walking.
Yeah, there's a few moments where you're like, oh, something's gore is going to happen, and then it doesn't, and you're like,
oh shit.
I was expecting some grot. But yeah, I guess it's like they really wanted to establish that the Santa Claus was a very bad man.
Yes, they really triple down, really, not even double down.
Because then obviously the whole, I mean, is it just me, or I was getting like Christmas Vacation, like National Lampoon vibes?
Yeah, well, Tara Buckman as well has a bit of the Beverly D'Angelo about it.
Yeah, it's just like the dad's very Clark Griswold. The kids are in the back of the car. They're even in a station wagon.
It's the dark prequel,
and they're just driving along, like visiting families. So it's I've got very much National Lampoons from that scene.
Alternate timeline where Rusty grew up to be a serial killer.
But just. I talk about scene going like over the top, like
yeah.
I mean, okay, he pulls them over to rob them of the car, but then he like shoots at them. I mean, why is he blowing the car away if he's trying to steal the car? Makes no sense. But he shoots at the car, kills the dad, drags the mum out of the car, and just straight away I was like, I don't know why, but I have this feeling he's gonna like rip my top open.
And he did.
I was like, it's one of these films.
And then she smacks him in the gish, so he just cuts her throat with a switchblade. And you're like, Jesus!
All the while the kid's watching.
Yeah.
Obviously. And for a moment, for a brief moment, I thought they weren't going to address the kid in the back of the car, the baby. That's there. But they do come back round to it.
Yeah.
They just don't mention it for the longest time. I think at one point in the movie I was like, wasn't there a baby in the back of the car?
Yeah, his little brother.
Yeah, they just don't really cover it until that like third act or something.
And you have to see the sequel.
Yeah,
I
believe so. Yeah.
But I think that was the first point, like, especially after like just suddenly getting like violent and grotty, I started laughing again because it's like obviously the baby's in the backseat crying. And all the shit that's just gone out, and then just like some like little baby song comes on, and it just cuts to an orphanage. Just like fucking hell, that's like hammer over the head something.
Yeah, totally. Totally just going all over the shop.
Yeah.
And then obviously it gets super dark again with nuns.
Yeah.
Evil nuns.
Evil bloody nuns.
Catholic nuns that aren't to be fucked with.
Yeah.
Well, mainly the Mother Superior.
Yeah, the other one's nice. I mean, but it's kind of her fault that. He turns into a Santa lunatic because she gets him that job at the toy show.
Yeah, true. Yeah, she's culpable as well.
Yeah.
Is that the Margaret character? Is that what she's called?
I think so.
Yeah. But when she's just like, should we be doing this sort of face?
Yeah.
Like especially when they're like tying them to the bed and stuff.
It's a bit much, Mother Superior. She's like, shut up.
Like, we're doing it.
Yeah, there really should have been, though, as soon as she is like kind of responsible, just the final shot should have been just her looking at the end going, fuck.
Yeah.
It's kind of my fault in a kind of way.
She kind of doesn't get her comeuppance, does Mother Superior, really, does she? Which is surprising.
Yeah.
Like, Chanelli does. Very
nearly
does.
Very close.
Yeah, but she doesn't. But great performance. I really like her. Is it? Lillian, isn't it? Yeah. Lillian Chauvin.
Yeah, she has a good hard face when she plays these kind of characters.
Like, resting bitch face.
Yeah.
Sort of like, really well cast for like a Mother Superior character. Mm-hmm. Yeah, really good. The poor kid as well. Just like, oh my God.
I know.
Like, I guess it's like, I mean, I know I normally like hate films that that do this, the whole like justifying the murder, and we always joke about like the prequel that shows like Jason and stuff.
Yeah.
But at this time, it's like I don't know. I can kind of understand.
Oh yeah,
where he's coming from the murder.
Yeah.
I also think one thing, I suppose that's really fascinating about this film, thinking about it, is usually the movie spends more time setting up the victims.
Yeah, it's almost like fucking Henry Porter for serial killer or something.
Yeah, the movie's like very flippant on its head. It's like half of the movie is about the killer growing up and why he's a killer, and the victims are really inconsequential.
Oh
like,
they may as well not have names. Yeah.
Exactly, they're just like people that he like comes across and then murders them for no reason other than he's just pissed off that it's Christmas.
Yeah, exactly.
So it is fascinating for that sort of it puts it in a unique camp.
It definitely is more unique. I've always wanted to say, for some reason, I've just never got around to this. I don't know why. Even though it is like on the I don't know, probably B tier of the 80s slashers and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like way more original than I was expecting, I think.
Yeah,
and like
I think so.
quite unique. Yeah.
Obviously, it released, I believe, the same year as Nightmare on Elm Street.
I think it was the same week.
Yeah, and very much went head to head. And I think at moments it was actually beaten.
Yeah, I read
Nightmare
that.
on Elm Street as well. Yeah, which is quite interesting. But no surprise because of the controversy that they drummed up. It's one of them things where people are bound to go see a movie because people are on the news going, "Oh, it's fucking you can't watch this." So people are gonna go see it.
Like people don't understand that when people get outraged by something, it just a movie, especially, it just makes people want to fucking see it.
Yeah, just curiosity, morbid curiosity.
Yeah, exactly.
Even just people being belligerent, like, no, you can't tell me what to say, I'll go see it.
I don't even like horror movies, but I'm going now.
So crazy that it did so well though at the time.
I did laugh at the reveal of like 18-year-old Billy, who's all buff now and massive.
Yeah,
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, the shopkeeper, like I was getting like, is he gay? Getting vibes when he's all like, oh. I'll give you a job, young man. It's like, I don't know, in a different time he would be like more camper and I would be there for it.
Another familiar face as well, Gary's dad from Weird Science.
Yeah. They're just playing a schmucky dad character basically.
We could be the same character really. But this happens like that the Christmas after Weird Science.
Yeah, totally. That's like what his ultimate ending.
It's the dark ending to Weird Science. His dad gets fucking hammered in the head.
But I did make note in my notes. I just put like he's very happy to see buff Billy.
Yeah,
just the muscle shot, like when it goes up from his ankles up. You're just like
that's ridiculous. What he should have been credited as, really, like
buff Billy.
Yeah, buff Billy.
What a job from to have though.
I know.
A job at a toy store at Christmas. Although I guess I think the movie sets up he's hired in spring technically.
Yeah, because they say like you've been fine all year. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah,
but really though, the nun that got him the job, the nice nun, should have been like, by the way, give him Christmas off. He doesn't like Christmas.
He really does not like Christmas. Yeah. And not in a Scrooge way.
Not in just like, I hate Christmas. He literally loses it because he has Chucks of Whitey and everything.
Butch is like, nah, fine.
Yeah. It's like, he's fine now, but he's big lad, he's grown up, he's out, been lifting the weight, he's buff Billy now.
Yeah, he's got all the rage out, fucking shredding those lightweight machines and stuff. Yeah. I'll tell you what though, classic Christmas movie, we'll get a full montage.
Oh, that bit was I've wrote down in my notes, montage of Billy's first day at work, like a sitcom opening called Stockroom Buddies.
Yeah. It's so ridiculous. The movie just stops dead for a montage. It's mental. I love it.
What are the lyrics again? I forgot to write that. It's something like the chorus is something like, there's always love on the warm side of the door.
Yeah, like it's some guy aggressively singing about Christmas. Yeah. He's all like, Christmas, oh my God.
I think they got Joe Cocker in.
It's like, what on earth? And then when it finally ends, the song, you're like, happy years, I'm happy for the silence.
Yeah. Just say that was a long opening sequence to this TV show.
Nuts. There's a moment that I made note of. I want to give a shout out. Most unbelievable point of this movie is when you see in stock Jedi Return of the Jedi toys.
Yeah, I saw them. Like, I was like, oof.
Christmas '84, and there's fucking in stock like Star Wars toys. I doubt it. Yeah, as soon as Return of the Jedi came out like the year before.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I've just been daft.
Goldmine sitting on that shelf. Unboxed Jabba.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just caught that straight away.
Yeah.
And what do you think about, obviously, early role for Joe Pesci as well, the Stockroom Buddy? So I was quite surprised to see him.
Billy, you fucking bum.
It's just like he just has a full-on Joe Pesci hair.
He
Basically.
does. He's a bit taller than Joe Pesci, but he'd be a good stand-in, definitely. Yeah.
He's like Joe Pesci's stuntman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how he got the job, basically. But yeah, I am pleased when he dies. Most of the characters, like I said, don't have really a setup for dying and stuff. They're just fodder. But like, he's like the one person that you're like, wow, fair play.
Yeah, and it shows that once again, he's just annoyed because he's like being a bit weirder around Christmas. Because in the like Stockroom Buddies montage, he's like offering him a drink and they're quite chummy. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden he's just like, "You're a knob."
Yeah.
Just starts treating him like shit.
Yeah.
And then of course, you know, he's rapey. There's that as well.
He gets a bit rapey.
Jesus, a bit much. And like the stockroom at work, it's like fucking hell.
Like during the Christmas party.
Yeah.
I guess it. Sadly, it's probably the type of thing that happens at these Christmas parties.
It's just the fucking difference between like him being kind of scared of his boss getting fired and like sucking up to him to just like, I'm going to do this while my boss is in the next room.
Yeah. Kind of grim. Yeah, and she kind of. Not that she should be grateful, but I just feel like she's kind of straight away like, how dare you save me from getting raped?
Yeah,
almost.
it's like kind of like, thanks, but you're a fucking scary psycho.
Yeah,
it's a bit like it's just because so he kills her as well.
Yeah, it's a strange reaction.
And weirdly, one of those things as well. Like, you know, all he did to him was just strangle him to death. Bad way to well, he literally hangs him by just holding him up with one arm.
I made note. Is he just Jason now?
Yeah, pretty much. It's the weights, man. He's been buffing up.
Just picks little Pesci up by one arm.
Well, I guess if it is Pesci, you know. But yeah, it's just like he gets like a not an easy death, but you know, and with her, he just slits her stomach open with a fucking Stanley knife. And I'm like, come on. Don't do that.
Yeah, like literally like fillets or something.
Yeah, don't give her the fucking Jason death.
Crazy. It's just, you know, it's exploitation though, isn't it?
Of course, yeah.
Naked and cutting a woman open sort of thing. That's why it's like, it's a very different movie to Black Christmas.
Oh yeah, worlds apart. Yeah.
I will say though, like, they were really scraping the barrel getting Billy to play Santa, like, though as well. I'll just shout out at that. Yeah. Like, I know like the Santa's like, because what was he? Was he involved in an accident or something? The Santa that the shop did have,
something like
can't
that.
Remember.
Yeah.
Or he was sick or something.
Something, yeah.
But like, I don't know. It's just not a very good Santa for me. Like,
no, the fucking manager should have been Santa. He had a little paunch on him at least, you know.
Not buff Billy.
No.
He's sitting on his muscular legs.
Yeah, he should have had like a tank top Santa outfit on and stuff, showing off the guns.
I did like though the little humour bit with the kid that's sitting on his knee,
just terrified of him already, and he's just like being all intense, like, "Please be still. I am Santa Claus."
Yeah, and the mums are watching, going, "Is he good with the kids?"
Yeah, that was quite funny. Oh shit, I forgot about another bit with like the orphanage scenes where Billy, like as an 8-year-old, sparks out Santa.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I did laugh at that.
It's a great like John Wayne punch and like whoosh, knocks him off his seat. I fucking pissed myself at that.
And he's like, "What the hell?" Like totally surprised by it.
But also, would an orphanage run by Catholic nuns invite a Santa?
No.
Surely they'd be like, "Fuck that shit. It's about Jesus, not about fucking Santa Claus." So I know they have to have it in there, but I'm like, that doesn't make much sense.
Yeah, I actually Googled because I was curious myself about that.
You're like, wait a minute.
Like, this doesn't seem accurate. Yeah, so like Catholic sort of portrayal of Christmas would never go anywhere near contemporary Santa at all, ever. Okay. Yeah. The closest they would get, they would acknowledge St. Nicholas. Basically. The like 1600s version of St. Nicholas.
Not the Coca-Cola Santa.
No, they would never do Santa Claus like that. And they certainly wouldn't have some like competition where the kids like do drawings of Santa and stuff and that. Yeah, which again, we should mention that his little like he's murder Santa drawing.
It's like a beheaded reindeer on it. Yeah, it's good.
Laugh at that again, like just little bits of humour sprinkled through the movie that worked quite well.
Oh yeah. Some funny, some intentionally, some not.
True.
But mainly intentionally.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, then his big killing spree. I mean, Linnea Quigley's in this just before Savage, probably same year as Savage Streets and just before Return of the Living Dead, getting impaled on some fucking antlers.
Yeah. Oh, she looks painfully thin in that scene. As well. I bet no. Like, I hate it when you see girls like ribs and stuff and that. I don't know. Something about it like creeps me out a bit.
She's a very tiny woman.
Yeah. Like, I hope she wasn't anorexic or something at the time. You know, like pressures of filming and stuff.
I don't know.
Because you just proper see her like ribs and her bones and stuff. And it's
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty creative sort of death. I think it's a cool shot when you get the wide shot of her like hung up there on the antlers and stuff.
Yeah.
It's an interesting visual.
And her boyfriend is Johnny Lawrence from Cry Kid.
Oh, yeah.
Looks a lot like him.
He does, doesn't he? Yeah. I was like, for a minute, I was like, was it? And I was like, no.
Because when he first came out, I was like, fuck, I didn't know he was. Oh, it's not him. Okay.
I like how he kind of comes out of the room or whatever he was in, and he's like, the front door's all like smashed in, and he's like, what's going on? You better not be playing some prank on me. A prank.
I was waiting for him to blame the cat. Because she went downstairs to let the cat in, and she comes down, the cat's sitting there, and the door's being kicked in. He'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what have you done, cat? Yeah. I guess are they supposed to be babysitters in that scene? Probably, right? I kind of
she's the babysitter and she's invited her boyfriend over.
Yeah, probably. Because I was like, are they like, I don't know, mum and dad, and that's the daughter? I was a bit confused at first.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to be babysitters.
Another funny thing, actually, one person back at the toy store, Ted Raimi, the Ted Raimi in a wig who gets shot with the arrow. Just go back and have a look.
For a second, I was like, Ted Raimi was in there. They're just tricking each other with jokes.
He just probably looks like Ted Raimi in a wig.
Does a little bit. And also, I will question a toy store selling a fully working bow and arrow.
Yeah, bit dangerous.
Kids' toys were a bit less safer back then, but fucking hell.
If it had been set in the 70s, I would buy it. But maybe it's not the 80s.
No.
They were starting to get on shit like that. But a lot of people in this movie that look like somebody else.
Yeah, true.
This thing.
Yeah, even the way like 8-year-old Billy looks a bit like Clint Howard.
Yeah.
He looks like young Clint Howard when he was a kid. Yeah.
I laughed at the bit after Billy murders the babysitter and the boyfriend.
Yeah.
When he tries to look all cool like the Terminator stepping through the broken door, but he like slightly slips. Don't know if you caught that. But
no, I didn't actually.
He ever so slightly slips the actor, and he kind of puts his hand out like whoa to like correct himself, and they just left it in. Like,
I can't do that again. Nope. Moving on.
I almost had it.
Had it, man. Put some fucking salt in you.
It was quite funny.
So yeah, then he pretty much like, he's off back to the orphanage. It's literally that's his mission at that point.
Yeah, he's like murdering his way to the orphanage, like killing some random sleigh ride guy by beheading him and stuff.
Oh yeah, that bit's pretty good. Yeah, just the horror of like waiting for your mate to come down the hill. He comes down headless,
the head rolling after him.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think it's a nice full circle that kind of makes sense that he's like making his way back to the orphanage. Whether it's to murder the nun or save the brother, I'm not really sure. It doesn't really explicitly say what his intention is. I suppose you could take it as either way.
Yeah.
Maybe his idea is to just get revenge, though, I guess.
Well, it certainly seems that way. But he didn't have a chance. We don't know what he would have done next. So.
No, that's what I mean. Like, would he have like taken his brother away and like something? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. Poor Father O'Brien, though. Shout out to Father O'Brien, who's dressed as Santa Claus, and the cops like pull up and just blow him away because obviously there's like an APB out for like a murderer dressed as Santa.
Yeah,
which I think's a risky proposition at Christmas.
On fucking Christmas, yeah. Like week leading up to Christmas, right? Just fucking shoot anyone who looks like Santa.
They're lucky they haven't got a pile of body bags back at the mall. Yeah. They're like, we really need to have a look at these people's faces.
Big bonfire at the back of the police station. There's just loads of Santa outfits.
So, yeah, I laughed at the scene when he didn't stop when the cop told them to, sort of thing. And the nurse Margaret's like, sorry, it is Margaret. I keep doubting myself.
I think it's Margaret.
Yeah, when she says, of course he didn't hear you, he's deaf. I don't know, just like
an added layer of grimness to it.
Perfect setup.
But almost like, it's pretty funny at the same time.
Yeah, a deaf priest dressed as Santa getting shot.
Yeah, like in another movie that wouldn't be funny, but in this it is.
Yeah, just because it's so over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movie kind of ramps up pretty quick at that point, really.
Once he's dead, and then the other lad's like, what does he say? Naughty, or does he say punish? I can't remember. Because he says punish for the entire movie.
He does. I think he says naughty. Yeah. Because, the punish thing, that needed more time in the oven, I think. As a catchphrase. I don't know. It's just kind of grim, him walking around going, punish.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm sure there's a better line there.
I mean, there was a few moments. I think the first few times you said, I was like, what does he keep saying? I thought he was going, howdy.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
it's
that's not very Christmassy.
Did you see the trivia about, because I suppose just talking overall about the movie, about obviously the fact the director was like a guy who was more used to doing, can't remember, was it like more religious-y type films?
I don't know.
Yeah, I saw some trivia about the director, Charles E. Sellier. He was brought on board after like various problems and stuff. Well, basically the studio wanted to hire him, and I think the people like pushing for the movie to be made didn't want to hire him. They wanted to hire somebody else, like a horror director or something.
Yeah.
But the studio was like, nope, getting this guy. And he just wasn't like a horror director guy. And apparently like he had real trouble filming the horror scenes.
Okay.
So somebody else had to direct the horror scenes.
Yeah.
Like he didn't actually direct them because he was all like his previous movies. I think I'm right, but they were very like religious, like tonal family movies and stuff.
Okay.
But he was one of them guys that like he got it done sort of thing.
Yeah.
So he was popular with the studio. You know, you could turn around a movie in like 10 days. Sort of thing.
Yeah.
Cheap as chips.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just interesting that like, I don't know, looking back on the film now, like if I rewatched it, I wonder if you could tell like a tonal, maybe that's where some of the tonal shifts come from.
Yeah, probably.
That it's like a different director doing the like the horror-y bits and stuff.
Yeah, well, I'll have to check out the second one mainly, because the second one is like, I'm just more aware of that because of the Garbage Day scene. It became a meme for years. And apparently though, it's one of the like 40% of the film is just flashbacks to Silent Night, Deadly Night. It's like barely a movie.
Yeah, like 40 minutes literal of footage from.
Yeah, is it 40?
Movie.
Exactly.
I think it is.
Yeah,
I think so. It's like, oh my god,
that's insane.
But yeah, it is interesting that scene's like everybody, without knowing it, knows that scene. The Garbage Day.
Yeah.
It's mad. Overall, though, I think I had real good fun with the movie.
Oh, it's great. It's definitely going in the regular Christmas horror rotation.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's an interesting premise. Mm-hmm. It doesn't take itself too serious.
No.
So there's something for everyone, really. The gore, if you're kind of a gore head, there's moments where you're like, bloody hell, that was kind of brutal.
Yeah, and just the tone of some of the violent scenes is like, it almost goes to the way you're like, it's a bit like Maniac or something, rather than like some daft. Because you think like, it sounds daft, like guy dressed as Santa goes around killing people, which like is why I keep thinking when people would complain about it, they probably hadn't seen it. I'd be like, wait, if I was like in that mindset, I'd be like, that just sounds stupid.
Yeah.
But when you watch the film, you're like, nah, it's weirdly goofy and grim at the same time. It's got a weird vibe to it.
Yeah, it's just it's the start of it, let's face it.
Yeah.
It slaps you around the face. It's like RoboCop or something. It just starts in such a violent high that
I was not expecting it to like start like that or be like that kind of tone. Yeah. So yeah, it had 4 sequels overall and a kind of semi-remake in 2012. I don't think it's a straight remake from what I know about it. It's like a sort of guy dressed as Santa killing people, but it's not. I don't think it's Billy and that whole backstory. I don't think anyway. But it's called. And it's only called Silent Night.
Right. So just we'll keep it more. Yeah. Like it's not clear what it's about. So.
Yeah. But yeah, if you want another good Santa killer movie from the time, Christmas Evil's worth the watch. That's more serious in a way. And has one of those. It just has a mental end. I'll just say that.
I'll say that.
I'll give that a watch.
I believe this film was originally going to be called Sleigh Ride, wasn't it as well? I think that was its working title.
I think that's what it was shot as, because I did read something that they kept saying it was based on a book, but it wasn't.
Based on the book.
Yeah.
I guess very loosely, maybe.
Yeah. I think a guy. That's apparently the reason it has like a story credit is just because a guy came up with the idea of a kid scared of Santa becoming a killer dressed as Santa. So then they just started to give it a bit more, like
gravitas.
Yeah, they were like, that's based on a book.
Yeah. Makes it sound a lot better, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. As for merchant stuff, like I said, Scream Factory put out the 4K. You got the theatrical cut in 4K and the unrated cut on Blu-ray. It's chock full of stuff, chock full of commentaries and interviews and all that, just what you'd expect from Scream Factory. And 101 Films again in the UK, just like Black Christmas, put out both cuts with pretty much the same extras. As for vinyl, Death Waltz put out the re-release of the soundtrack for the 30th anniversary. That's, of course, well out of print. And a company called Burning Witches released a limited vinyl a couple of years ago. You can get them both for, typical collector price. But some places, like Discogs, they went from like 30 to 60. But the Bernard Witches one I found on eBay for like over 100 quid. So it depends where you go, you know.
Yeah. Crazy, aftermarket prices.
Exactly. So as for merch and artwork, we've actually got some. I forgot they did a fucking NECA did a figure.
NECA always do figures for shit like this. It's crazy. We'll cover that first. Sadly, it's a long out of production figure. I would be tempted to buy it, but like to go for like £150 and stuff.
Yeah.
Sadly, because it's bloody yes. Really good lightness. Like,
It is,
they've
actually.
proper nailed it. Although I do believe anybody that's tempted to buy, I think there's. When you get it in hand, the sculpt's not quite as good as what it looks in the images and stuff, the promo images,
okay.
Sadly.
That old chestnut.
It was an early stage in NECA's career where they weren't quite nailing what they were promising. I've seen some reviews before where people are like, ugh, when they get it in hand.
That's a shame.
Yeah, but the actual like on the back and stuff, it's a great little setup.
Yeah.
Just the fact that it comes with the axe and the hammer and stuff.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. They're in the habit of re-releasing stuff at the minute, NECA, so I'll hope that they do another one.
That would have been a good one. And once again, this is the 40th anniversary of this movie. It would have been good to do this Christmas for them, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Well, let's say maybe next year.
Hopefully.
I believe that they also did a second figure as well, a Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 figure.
That would make sense, yeah.
That did come with a Blu-ray, I think, for like some anniversary as well.
Oh, yeah, because they've done that a couple of times. They did it for like Night of the Creeps and Halloween 3. They did the Tom Atkins figure and stuff that you could get with the special edition of the movie. Yeah.
But moving on to art, though, so going through them alphabetically, the Chris Garofalo one.
He gets a lot of promotion on the show. He should give us some free prints.
We're always giving him shout-outs. Guess I just kind of like his art, really.
That's a really nice, but especially just the Santa suit turning into a blood splatter. That's really cool.
Yeah. Wrong? Is it just me, or is it the wrong kind of axe, though? It's more of a bite than axe.
That's more like a battle axe type of thing, but it looks cool.
Yeah. Just checking, is it? Yeah, it is the right one. I was just almost like, is that the remake? But no, it is the same one. Yeah. Just checking the cast and the poster. But yeah, cool.
That's really nice.
I really like though the next one, the Gary Pullen piece of art.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's just very like playing on the themes of like Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola Santa Claus.
Yeah, and the art looks like an old Coca-Cola ad or an old Christmas card or something, doesn't it?
Yeah, really cool. Just the whites and stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
So obviously that one's put out by Mondo.
I'm assuming that is well collectible and like £8,000 now.
Quite possibly like one
Most
of them.
Mondo prints are.
Yeah, unfortunately they get snapped up and go into people's portfolios and never come out. So the next one, James Ream Davis. Kind of captures, although it's not a scene from the movie, kind of like, I don't know, something about it, the grot of the movie.
Yeah, what is that though? Because it's got like
1.4
and it's got Garbage Day Guy in the bottom.
Yeah, it's just going to have a look at the...
It says it presents a screen of Silent Night, Deadly Night plus rare original footage from that gem of a sequel. Presented in 35th. So it must have been a double bill or something.
Yeah, I guess it must just... Is that a scene from the sequel?
It might be. I don't know.
Yeah, I was just having a look online. It was done for the screening of the first and the second one. So yeah, maybe that is a bit from the second one where she's wrapped up in the Christmas lights, maybe.
It's a grotty look, I bet you.
It is, yeah. I wonder if the second one does get that grotty.
Probably.
Moving on, next one, Justin Osborne.
That's cool. That looks like a 70s drive-in type poster.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. Again, just the terror of the scenes and stuff, and the words like gore, sex,
murder, gifts, nuns.
It's nice.
That's
like
awesome.
That. And the folds as well, obviously the fake folds in the artwork,
and the coffee stains and shit on the sides. That's awesome. Yeah,
good. Last but not least, another one by Phantom City Creative as well. So I've just gone with a blood-soaked Billy's face.
Yeah, that's nice. With the blood going down the hat and the beard. That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of cool that there is like a couple of bits of art. You never know sometimes with the community. Like, what they're gonna do. But yeah, obviously a well-loved movie.
Yeah, it's one of those cult favourites for sure, and I can definitely see why now.
yeah, I'm surprised we haven't sort of like watched this earlier. I know. It's just never something that we've done.
I'm surprised it's taken with this long to cover Black Christmas at Christmas. I think it's always been in the back pocket, but we just always ended up doing something else instead.
Cannibal Christmas and stuff.
That is.
Champion Cinema.
So Christmas is next week, so there won't be a show next week.
It's probably a bit much to record at Christmas.
I'm just thinking of anything to do like before the new year, because I haven't. Normally we do the end year wrap ups, but I'm struggling to think of more than 2 films that I've seen that came out this year. Unless I try and do a big catch up before Christmas.
Yeah, I know it's like Alien.
Alien and Longlegs, I think, was the only fucking 2 movies I saw this year.
Yeah, I don't feel like I've seen a ton. I might surprise myself if I look, but I don't feel like I've seen a ton of movies from this year.
No. Well, there's still, as far as ones I want to see, Maxine came out this year, right? It did. Earlier in the year.
God, it must have been right at the start, maybe.
I think it did. So I want to see that. I want to see The Substance.
Yeah, me too.
Wicked, obviously. I want to no, just kidding. No, I'm sure there's a few more.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, it's one of them where I always think, nothing's come out this year.
Yeah.
But then when you look, you're like, okay, there's a few.
yeah, there's a few. We'll see though. So yeah, we won't be speaking to you before Christmas. So I hope you all have a lovely Christmas period.
Yes.
Enjoy your presents and your turkey and all that jazz.
Ni gan on murdering binges.
No, don't get dressed. Don't do a Buff Billy and lose your temper. And don't fucking be like that guy at the start of the movie. He was a horrible bastard.
Yeah, what was his problem? What happened to him?
I know, he needs to, speaking of a backstory.
There's the unresolved story of the movie.
Yeah. Jesus.
He doesn't get... Yeah, I'm talking about Mother fucking Superior doesn't get a comeuppance.
Yeah.
What about the psycho?
Yeah, what happened to him?
I like to think he just drove off and got shot by the cops at some point.
Hopefully, yeah.
He got gunned down. That's right.
Didn't just steal the car and just driving up down the road going, hey, Christmas.
Silly, innit?
Yeah. That should have been the twist ending. Then it goes back in time to him just arriving home and he's just a nice family man. This is just how he blows up steam at the weekend.
Yeah. I thought you were going to be going the whole time traveling thing. Billy travels back in time and guns his own family down.
Yeah.
And it's actually Billy.
That's why it's Mr. Peabody, is his granddad.
I'm whoa. Mind blown. Time loop.
Well, on that note, thanks for listening, folks. You can find it on Instagram at Champion Cinema Pod, T-shirts at TapePublic. Go rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all that jazz. And have a lovely Christmas.
Yes, happy Christmas.
And until after Christmas, I'll see you down the Christmas pit.
See you on the snowy heap.
Yeah, yours works better.
Champion Cinema.
The most wonderful time of the year. Although, let's be honest, around the holidays, things really add up. But here's the good news. Only at Verizon, you can get a single line for $50 per month when you switch and bring your phone. So, while ice skating for 2 is definitely costing more, here at Verizon, you can save. Gifts for your third cousins? Steep. A single line with Verizon? Not so steep. A real tree? Pricey. A single line with Verizon? Less pricey. Flights to see Mima and Pops? Those are up. A $50 per month single line? That's down. Even a trip to the Atlanta Holiday Market will cost you more. But with Verizon, you can switch and bring your phone for just $50 per month for a single line on unlimited welcome, with autopay plus taxes and fees. All this to say, during the holiday season, when everything is costing more, you can get more for less right now at a local Verizon store. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G, 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.